In this recording I want to go through the exercises which have been set for Module 5. So the exercises are up on screen, and you can see here that we want to have a process called the EPP node to write to a file, and in the first case just pass a hard-coded string, and in the second case pass the value of a user-defined field. So in order to do this I need to configure a process. Well, I don't need to configure a process. I could add this onto an existing one, but in terms of showing you this sort of end-to-end, I'm going to start from scratch and I'm going to create a process. And working backwards, I know from the requirements of what the EPP node must do that we need a shared result file. So compound output file luid0 is going to refer to a shared output file, and we'll also need a user-defined field termed color. So let's go ahead and create that process and add the things that we need. Configuration, processes, process types. Let's add one. And we'll call this API demo process. So we've already noted that in terms of what it's going to produce, it needs to produce a shared result file. So there's not much else to configure here. Let's do save, and let's go and add that user-defined field whilst we think of it. Add one, and it's called color. Done. Okay, let's go back into the configuration of that process. Just move this over so you can see it. Okay, external programs, we want to say that it is associated with an external program. We'll now add the command line syntax. So as for the channel name, I'm going to run this on the default EPP node, which is located under the channel name LIMS server. And I'm just going to call this parameter 1, or parm1, and my command line call, I'm going to call bash, and my command is going to echo hello world to a file, and the file name is obviously going to vary at runtime. So we're going to use the compound output file luid. We only have one file, so that'll be 0. And we'll now what's in the braces there is going to be replaced with the luid of that file, the LIMS unique ID or the LIMS ID. And I also just want to add on the fact that we want the extension to be a text file. So let's go ahead and save that, and then let's add this other one. Once again, the LIMS server will be the channel name, the label will be parm2, and the command line will be the same as before, bash -c, and then we will put our command. So by right clicking again, I want the syntax which puts in a user-defined field, and the name of it was color, and then we will redirect that same as we did before, compound output file lid 0, and once again dot text. Save, save, say done. Now that we've got that process configured, we want to test it out. So let's create a new project. And let's just add a few samples to this using the wizard. So let's just add 5 samples. We'll call them sample group. Just fix that typo. Okay. Now I can go ahead and run our test process. So this is going to be under, so you can see it here. Let me run it a different way. API demo process. We'll run this. Next. And this is the important fact which, when you're first starting out, is can cause problems, but you must remember to pick the parameter string that you want. So we'll pick the first one and we'll just say done, and we'll go and see what happened. So we'll go back to the sample list, any one of them, it doesn't matter. And we see that the API demo process is run, and if we look at the output of that, the file, we'll see that we've got a text file that says hello world. So that one seems to have worked. So let's go back and run the process again, and this time we will write the value of the color. API demo process, run process. Next. Now this time I want palm2, the value of color, I'll put yellow, say done. Once again, let's go back and refresh the genealogy for these samples, and this one has failed. So let's take a look and see what happened there. Chances are I've introduced some kind of typo when I was defining the command line. So before I go digging through log files, let's just go and take a look at this. So we'll pull up our API process, modify it, and let's go and look at the definition for palm2. Oh yeah, I see the problem. If we compare the command line that I have to what's illustrated in the exercises, what I've done here is I've missed the echo command. So we'll save our changes and we can go back and run this again. Remember to pick palm2. Okay, so we see that this time we didn't get an error now that we've fixed the syntax, and if we open this and look at the output, we see that indeed the script has now worked now that I've fixed my syntax error. So we've gone end to end there in creating a process, to connecting it to an EPP node, to creating command lines, to show parameters being used, as well as illustrating the capture, which happens automatically, of files. So hopefully that was a useful exercise and that you've completed this yourself and you've got this to work. Thank you.